It's got to drop.
Am I in? I'm in. There I am. Okay. Should we just go? Yeah, we should just go.
Yeah,
We're good.
Let's start. Who's ever here wants to be here?
Welcome, everybody. We just wanted to tune in. I was talking with Christian earlier this week, and we've been just thinking about a lot of things, and just in the hallway out in the room here where we are, we have a bunch of pictures on the wall, and these are pictures of things that we teach to kids in the Y Try program, and this one has just been kind of on our mind a lot this week. It's, I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll lift it up here just a little. You can kind of see it there. So it's a picture of a kid standing in front of a wall and the same kid at another point on top of the wall. And it's kind of a principle that we talk about that just is explaining where, it's kind of explaining this principle of when we talk to kids, like when we teach this to kids, we'll say, where do you see yourself in 5 years, or where do you see yourself down the road? And most kids, they don't even think 30 seconds, right? I mean, they're thinking it's just very short term. They're dealing with all these problems, and it's kind of metaphorically like they're standing in front of a wall and they can't see past it. And so one of the challenges that we have is to try and get kids from this position where they have this limited view to a position where they can kind of be still in the same circumstances. We don't take away their problems. This kid on top of the wall still has all the same problems as this kid in front of the wall, but they have a different perspective. They have this ability to kind of see sort of where we're going and have hope, because they have things that they're focusing on down the road, and their ability to deal with those problems changes because they see them as temporary. And I feel like, tell me how you feel, Christian. I feel like everything that we're seeing right now is, I feel like I'm right here in front of the wall.
Yeah. Parents are next to this wall. Families, communities, and we as a society right now with this virus, we're feeling like we're against this wall. But there's some things we can do to back away from the wall and see the full picture, and we'll talk about that definitely.
Well, don't you think? I feel like as families, as students, as teachers, we've been talking to teachers this week so much that we all just kind of don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how long this is going to impact us and what the ramifications are of everything that's going on. And so it's really hard. And one of the things that's important that we talk about all the time is that when you're here, it's really hard to have hope. And hope is kind of the key thing that we're focusing on this week. And one of the most important things that we have to be able to do to get this kid to step away from this wall is to, our first approach when we're working with teachers or we're working with educators and counselors is to try and show them how to motivate these kids and pull them away and show them the steps that they need to take to get from here to here. And the key to that begins with relationships. It's the connection that we have.
No, absolutely. And sometimes we think it's a major thing that has to happen to get a kid going from, staring at this wall where they're feeling hopeless to being on top of the wall where they can see the big view. But I've seen literally thousands of educators do really small things to connect with kids, to engage with them. And we've all seen it's just something as small as just spending a little extra time or complimenting them or helping them focus on their strengths. Literally gives them the fuel to keep pushing through, to not give up. The other thing that's really important, I've learned over the years doing this with lots of kids, is they have to believe it's possible to get up here. And I'll take whatever time I need to make sure they believe it's even possible to get up there. A lot of kids they feel so stuck, they don't believe change will happen. And I think with what's going on right now in this country, we have to really believe that this is not permanent. Things will evolve, things will change. I emphasize to kids a lot that if you're feeling really stuck here, I promise you, nothing in this world stays the same. I often tell kids, the only thing you can count on is change. So even though right now it feels like you're not going anywhere, the one thing that will show up is change. So there's always a hope there. Nothing's permanent. We understand that nothing's really permanent. It gives you hope to push through.
Yeah, and I think even for us, like in our company this week, we were reaching out to our customers, both trying to figure out, are we, what business can we still do? Is there anything productive that we can do right now? And we've actually had, trainings on our schedule and things that we're trying to do we're trying to pivot and see, can we do those online? We do a lot of online trainings, and some of them that no longer going to be able to be done face to face, we're trying to move to online. But we finally got to a point where we just realized, people are scrambling, trying to figure out, what their view is right now, because their view is just everything has stopped, and we're trying to figure out how to adjust and work with kids. And so our outreach changed about halfway through the week, where we just asked our employees to just reach out to people and check in with them and see how they're doing. And it kind of inspired us yesterday to get online and do this, and to start, offering some just little small strategies and things that can help people. And it's been overwhelming. Like the response we've had from people, they've said, thank you so much for checking in with me. I really appreciate that. We are kind of in crisis, trying to figure things out right now, but we want to talk more in the future, but I'm so grateful you checked in.
Yeah. I'm even hearing examples of teachers kind of playing some kind of online video games with kids.
Yeah.
As far as like, or more video messages with kids. They'll throw out something for the kids to answer that's about their lives, or kind of social and emotional, where they can connect and talk about how they're doing, and then it kind of creates a group chat. I guess there's Marco Polo or some of these different things that cause a lot of tools enable kids to come together and talk, but it's kind of let out by the adult. The adult will propose something, and then the kids can communicate, and just creating that connection. I know with my own kids, I'm even doing those games you can play on app. What do they call them? Those games you can play like with the cup game and stuff. It just
Right.
keeps me engaged. It keeps me, connected to my kids a little bit, even doing some of those games. So whether it's sending notes or texts or emails, and maybe reading a book online, creating a book club or something. Just any way we can get these kids to connect through
forms
media.
of connection, and it's every type of just reaching out that you can do, and whether it's the kids you're working with, whether it's some neighbors, family members. Why don't you share the thing from Salt Lake?
Yeah, the Salt Lake mayor is doing something really, really cool. She's to put this up here. She's created a form that people can put on.
Just print it out off their website.
You can print it off their website. You can put it on your neighbor's door. You can just tape it on there, and it just says my name is blank. I live at blank, so they know who it's coming from. It says, I'm offering to be helpful if you need anything during this pandemic. And then a couple of boxes you can check, I can pick up medication for you, pick up or deliver food to you, watch children, or blank, or just whatever they need, they can fill in. For your health and mine, we will probably need to both find a way to keep our distance, but I am here for you to figure out solutions. Here are some phone numbers you can call too. And then it has, my phone number is blank, you put your phone number in, and then if you think you're sick, you can call this hotline number they have, and then if you're having a medical emergency, please call 911. But it just shows neighbors, look, I'm going to be here for you. You don't have to have physical contact with me. Just put this, on the door saying, hey, I'm here for you if you need help. And I was on a phone call a few minutes ago with a national leader, and we're debating on trying to figure out how do we really connect with these kids. And I think something like this for students could be cool where kids can know that they have an avenue to express they need help. And I mentioned yesterday, brainstorming ways to do that, and just kind of update them. I'm talking to some national organizations about trying to figure out the most effective ways to do that. And I think you'll see more of that coming down the pipe. Yeah. We're excited about that, but we're having some great discussions about that.
And I think, kind of how that relates to this picture right here. This kid standing in front of the wall, when we talk to kids and we're teaching this principle to them, and this is kind of the end of our program, our Why Try program, where we're summarizing everything that we're doing, and we want them to come back and check in and make sure they're up here. But this kid sitting in front of the wall does not have any kind of vision of where they're going, and our only way that we can begin to pull them away from that wall and start teaching them some strategies to get them up here is connecting. And I think where everybody right now is in this position, whatever we can do right now to just start reaching out and connecting with someone else at any level, the students you're working with, again, neighbors, family members. What I love about that the mayor of Salt Lake is putting out there is just, hey, you may not even know the person that lives near you, and there's a lot of people in isolation right now that don't have connections. And I mean, what do you see the impact, Christian, of that being on just their anxiety and their emotional and mental health.
Yeah. I mean, we're social creatures. We have to connect with each other, or depression goes up, anxiety goes up, and so anything we can do to increase that connection. One thing I'm encouraging people to do is sometime during the day is do two things. Let kids know, hey, look, you're going to not be motivated sometimes, because in school, they kind of have built-in motivation, or they have someone following up with them every second. And I see kids, over the next few days, they're going to maybe get a little burned out. And I think instead of focusing on what's wrong with them or riding them really hard, say, you got to work harder. I think, if a kid spends an hour doing schoolwork, focus on, celebrate that they actually spent an hour doing it, instead of focusing on, oh, you should have done more, because their motivation levels are going to go up and down because of that isolation and being away from people. So I think it's really important right now to really emphasize, if they spend 20 minutes doing something and they probably should have spent 4 hours, just really emphasize, hey, that was awesome, you spent the 20 minutes doing that. The other thing I think is really important right now to help with connection is creating a kind of a safe space. I'm telling my kids, hey, if you really need to talk to me about something, I might have a code word, ice cream, and then we'll figure out, we'll get a snack together. And during that time, anything my child says to me, or a kid I'm advocating for, is a safe space. Yeah, I'm just going to listen. I'm not going to come down with a hammer or punishment. I just want to create that connection. And I think as much as we can be unconditional with each other right now is really important.
And I think of this wall right here. In this picture, the wall is a brick wall that you can't see past, and all you can see are problems. To me, this wall, for me right now, represents the news. Like, I get on my phone and I look at everything that's going on in the news, and it's really easy to just focus on the problems. It's really easy to just pay attention. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be aware of what's going on, but taking a break from that and saying, I'm going to turn outward, and I'm going to focus on another person, and I'm going to just focus on connection. I'm going to reach out to my neighbor. I'm going to reach out to my students. I'm going to reach out to family members. I called my mom this morning and talked with her just to check in, talk for a half an hour. I'm just trying to figure out how I can reach out to others. Every morning as an organization, we have a huddle, a daily huddle. We get on a Zoom call and we get everybody in the company logging in, and we just talk. We talk about what we're learning, what we're hearing from you all out there. And after that call, I always feel better. It's really easy to be staring at that wall, but to begin to pull someone away from that wall, it begins with the human connection. You want to share that?
Yeah.
Teachers, just before Christian shares this, we have seen so many awesome things. We've been talking to teachers all week, trying to get intel on what's going on. How are you adapting to your current circumstances? And, like Christian was saying, they're recording messages, they're sending notes and texts, they're figuring out how to get homework assignments out and how to communicate with students, and they're doing amazing things when this has not been their normal. And I love this. Christian, you share that.
Yeah, this is from Kenton Buck, who's a school board member in South Carolina, and he said, "We gave educators almost no notice. We asked them to completely redesign what schools look like, and in about 24 hours, local administrators and teachers Apollo 13'd the problem and fixed it."
I love that. I love that reference of Apollo 13, where they're basically building the solution on the fly. Right?
With duct tape. What they have to do, man. Kids learning, children being fed, needs being met in the midst of a global crisis. No state agency did this. No so-called national experts on curriculum. The local educators fixed it in hours. Hours! In fact, existing state and federal policies actually created multiple roadblocks. Local schools figured out how to do it around those as well, those two. No complaining and no hand wringing, just solutions and amazingly clever plans. Remember that the next time someone tries to convince you the schools are better run by mandates from non-educators, remember that the next time someone tells you that teachers have it easy or try to persuade you that educators are not amongst the smartest, most ingenious people in society. And please never say to me again, those who can't do anything else just go into teaching. Get out of the way of a teacher and watch with amazement at what really happens. And that's been my experience in the last 20 years working in education. Teachers are my heroes. I consider them right now doing incredibly important work, and what teachers are doing, first responders, all of us investing in kids. We got to keep fighting the fight, man. These kids need us right now more than any time. Children need social interaction, and you'll see from Y Tribe, we're going to continue to give examples and keep producing tools.
Our goal is what we say to kids. We're going to try and get you from here to here. And we're going to talk about specific things to focus on every day. They're going to help get you back into this position. We're all working in this together. I feel it. Christian feels it. Our whole organization feels it. And one of the most beautiful things I love about resilience is that having these challenges changes us, and it gives us an opportunity to exercise our resilience. And we're going to talk about that on Monday, in fact.
All right, awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody who tuned in, and please share this with other people. Please get this message out. Let people know what we're doing, and we're going to continue to do this as long as we're able to do it.
Yep.
Let's come in. If not, we'll be doing it from home as well, and so we'll be making it happen. So thank everybody, and thanks for everybody for what you're doing. Remember, we're all in this boat together. The sun always comes through the darkest clouds.
Have a good day.